Hello students, I am Shukla Choudhury and welcome to my YouTube channel. My channel is all about education, knowledge and travel. And I am sure by this time you all know that, but still I wanted to share. Now you must have seen my Act 1 video on Macbeth. In that video, I discussed the theme and the important questions. You all have seen, and so many of you have demanded that you wanted a similar video on Act 2. So here I am with my Act 2 Macbeth video. Here I will discuss with you all just the theme and the important questions related to the theme, which are very important for your exam, and all the questions you will get after the scene. So remember to watch the video till the end. By chance, if you have missed my Act 1 video, the link is there, you can just check out.
Act 2, Scene 1 is a continuation of the previous scene, though the act has changed. The feast is over and Duncan has retired to his chamber. The hour of murder is approaching. Banquo meets Macbeth while crossing the courtyard of the castle and going towards his chamber. Banquo informs Macbeth that the king has given many presents and has presented a precious diamond to Lady Macbeth. Banquo also tells Macbeth that he dreamt of the Wade sisters the night before. Macbeth pretends that he has not thought about them at all and invites Banquo for a private talk at some suitable time, hinting that if Banquo agrees to his plan, he will have honor and reward. However, Macbeth wishes Banquo a hearty repose and Banquo retires to bed with his son. After Banquo's departure, Macbeth sends his servant to Lady Macbeth to inform her to give the signal when his drink is ready. His heat-oppressed brain conjures up before his eyes a vision of an air-drawn dagger, pointing him to the room of the king with its bloody point. He feels staggered by the sight and regards it as hallucination. He sees the silence of the midnight when all men are wrapped in sleep. He will proceed towards the deed, and as he proceeds, he asks the earth not to resound his steps, lest the deed is prevented. Then he hears the bell, which is a signal from Lady Macbeth that the stage is set for the deed. Now, my dear students, the significance of this particular scene, this scene is very significant because this scene has an evil tone in it. This scene also shows the contrasting thoughts in the mind of Banquo and Macbeth. While Banquo is very candid and expresses his disturbance of mind regarding the prophecy of the witches, as a part of them have come true already, and he talks very honestly, Macbeth on the other hand pretends to adopt a casual attitude. Though the prophecy of the witches and their partial fulfillment has had a tremendous impact on his agitated mind. Unholy thoughts attack him, and his conscience pricks him to such an extent that he begins to hallucinate and sees an air-drawn dagger pointing the way to King Duncan's room. This scene is the dagger scene, and it prepares the audience for the murder of the king. Now for the important questions from Act 2, Scene 1. Number 1. What pertinent question does Banquo ask Macbeth? What is the latter's reply? Number 2. What does Macbeth tell Banquo? Which clearly implies that he wants Banquo to be an accomplice in his evil designs. Number 3. How does Banquo react to Macbeth's suggestion? Number 4. Why is Macbeth waiting for Lady Macbeth to strike the bell? Number 5. What does Macbeth see in front of him? What does the object show him? 6 and last. What are Macbeth's thoughts regarding the object he sees? Next we come to Act 2, Scene 2. In this scene, we see that Lady Macbeth has drugged the chamberlains, that means the guard of the royal king Duncan, and who are now snoring. And by snoring, they are actually mocking at their sacred duty. She has also kept the daggers ready for Macbeth and now waiting outside the chamber of King Duncan. In this scene, Macbeth enters the king's chamber to murder. An owl shrieks. The sound of the snoring of the chamberlains throws Lady Macbeth into a fit of hysterical fear, thinking that they have awakened. Macbeth returns wild and panic-stricken and says that the deed has been accomplished. He asks Lady Macbeth, who lies in the adjoining chamber of King Duncan, and then she replies, Donald Bain, who is Duncan's son. Macbeth tells Lady Macbeth that the two sons of Duncan in the adjoining room had woken up and had muttered a prayer, but he couldn't say Amen. That means Macbeth couldn't say Amen, and this unnerves Macbeth to a great extent. It seems that his conscience spoke to him and warned him that he would sleep no more. Mind you, this is an important line of this drama, one of the most important lines. Macbeth will sleep no more. Lady Macbeth tries to calm him down, but in vain. Meanwhile, in his confusion, Macbeth has brought back the daggers after murdering King Duncan. Lady Macbeth bids him to go and place those daggers. But Macbeth is so filled with fear that he refuses to go. Lady Macbeth rebukes him and takes the blood-stained daggers back to the chamber of the murdered king and smears the chamberlains with the blood of the slain king. How horrible! Just then a knock is heard. Macbeth is appalled, and the very sight of his blood-stained hand makes him mad with fear. The knocking continues. Lady Macbeth returns and asks Macbeth to wash his blood-stained hands and to remove all the traces of crime. What a cool and calculating lady. Now we come to the significance of this particular scene, Act 2, Scene 2. This is the scene in the drama where the murder of King Duncan is accomplished. It marks the crisis of the play. It shows the supreme genius of the great Shakespeare, who is more interested and involves his audience with the murderer and not the murder. Since the murder is not shown on the stage and neither depicted depicted in the play, Macbeth shrinking before the murder and his refining after the murder gains the sympathy of the reader and audience more than King Duncan. Shakespeare makes a hero of a murderer. Now important questions from Act 2, Scene 2. Number 1. What preparations has Lady Macbeth done before the murder? Number 2. What did Lady Macbeth advise her husband not to do? 3. What 6 benefits are enumerated by Macbeth about sleep? And 4. Last. State Macbeth's state of mind on the basis of this scene. Next, we come to Act 2, Scene 3. This scene has 2 parts, and it will be easy for you if you divide this scene to 2 parts. Number 1, the Potter scene. This is the most hilarious and enjoyable part from the point of view of the audience. The Potter is under the influence of wine and is half reflective, half humorous, and substantially true. The Potter feels as if he is in hell and sees visions of a farmer, an equivocator, and a tailor. There is a dramatic irony in his speech as he imagines himself as the Potter of Hellgate. As Macbeth's castle can be compared to a head, his dialogues also gives Macbeth and his wife a chance to remove the traces of crime. And then the second part. The second part is about the discovery of the murder. The murder of Duncan has a great impact on the mind of Macbeth, who pathetically laments that nothing can wash away the blood of crime from his hand. Lady Macbeth tries to calm him down. Then Macduff and Lennox are the first visitors to enter. Macduff, who has come to wake up the king, sees the horrific sight first. Macbeth and Lennox enter next. Macbeth kills the chamberlains, claiming them to be the murderers. Lady Macbeth faints. King Duncan's son, Malcolm, and Donalbain, however, see through the deception and flee for their lives from Macbeth's castle without taking any formal leave from anyone. Now the important questions from this scene. Number 1. Where is the Potter and what does he imagine? Number 2. Describe the post-murder hypocrisy and event in Macbeth's castle. Number 3. What do sons of Duncan discuss about their safety? This brings us to the last scene of this Act 2, Scene 4. This scene serves the dramatic purpose of letting the audience know what the gossiping public think about the murder of the king. The conversation between Ross and the old man follows the assassination of King Duncan. The old man says that in the course of his 70 years, he never witnessed such a dreadful and strange things that he has seen in the course of the night before. A falcon, towering in his pride, was killed by a mousing owl. Ross confirms the same and reports that although it was day, the sun has been strangled by the darkness, and it was the most unnatural phenomenon. The horses of the late king broke away from their stalls and ate each other up. That means they became mad. Macbeth enters and informs that Prince Malcolm and Donalbain are suspected for the murder of their father. He further informs that Macbeth has gone to Scone to be crowned as king, and the dead body of the king is to be entombed in the family burial place at Commelkill. Macduff would attend the coronation, but Ross proposes to go to Scone. And it's important to remember that Malcolm went to England and Donalbain went to Ireland. This brings us to the last phase of this video, that is the important questions of Act 2 Scene 4. Number 1. What unnatural phenomena was described by the old man? Number 2. What was Ross's observation? Number 3. What information was brought by Macduff?
So that was all about your Act 2 theme and the important questions. Now, I always try to help my students, and I'm sure these questions and the theme will definitely help you, because this is Shakespeare, and until and unless you are very thorough with the theme, you will find it difficult to understand the Act 2, which is a very complicated one because the murder actually happens here. So that's all about our Act 2 video, and if you find this video helpful, please do not forget to like and subscribe, and wait for me. I am soon coming with Act 3 also.